What is going on, everybody? Have been offline for a few, getting prepared for our big Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. So we got a couple of new products launching. We'll get into that in a little bit. But wanted to let everyone know, we want to know where you're checking in from. Where are you watching from? So, city, state, let us know. Also, let me know if you are allowed to have people over your home for Thanksgiving in the state that you are currently living in. If you're out of the country, watching from abroad, let us know what country, region, or province you're tuning in from. We'd love to see where all of our international followers are tuning in from. So in many areas, the big talk is the restrictions on having people in your home and the number of people in your home for Thanksgiving, which a lot of people have an issue with. It's been months and months with this COVID-19 lockdown, and people are getting just stir crazy. And now these politicians saying you can't have people over your home for Thanksgiving. Some people, Thanksgiving was the first time that they felt that they were going to see their family that they hadn't seen in so long. So a lot of people are upset, rightfully so. Now, there are some people who are on the other side of the coin who are saying, listen, you got to have social distancing. This is for the greater good of the country and your fellow Americans. And, and of course, typically, and not that there's anything wrong with this, but typically those are people who are kind of like left-leaning, right? They're a little bit on the left. So there's a little bit of back and forth of the people who say, you know what, stop complaining. Not having people over your, not having your family over your home during Thanksgiving is for the greater good. And if you want to do that, you're selfish. It's not essential. And stop crying, stop complaining about it. So I believe it was last night or a couple nights ago in Los Angeles, they had the American Music Awards. Now, if you watched the American Music Awards, go ahead and chime in, comment, drop a comment below saying that you watched. Many performances, there's red carpet, the whole nine. And the people who put on the American Music Awards stated that they were doing, all this stuff, masks for the audience members, separate stages potentially for the performers, and all this stuff. But this was quite the gathering. People flying in from all over the place, right, to go to this award show. So to the people who, and I have a lot of friends in California that I shared this with, and their response is always priceless. The people who are saying that people shouldn't have their families over for Thanksgiving, you're being selfish, you got to follow the mandate, social distancing is important, and all that stuff. Got it. How do you feel about an award show? Completely not essential, completely not necessary, with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I don't know how many people were there, maybe more than hundreds of people in attendance, performers, the whole nine. How do you feel about that event going on? Because there are some people who kind of feel a little, I don't want to say slighted, but people feel like a little strange that an award show of that magnitude can be held, yet they're telling people you can't have your family over for Thanksgiving. And we all know masks aren't 100%, right? The CDC has even said masks aren't 100%. So for what reason would you take such a risk to put on an award show when there's this pandemic going on and you can't even have your family over for Thanksgiving? don't know. I mean, if you're living in California right now and there's all kind of lockdowns and your business is closed and you're having trouble like feeding your family, I would be pretty upset that the American Music Awards, like that completely not essential, went off. I'd be upset. Now, we all know that the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, recently was in some hot water. And the response is incredible. When these people get caught, the only thing better than what they do is their response. Okay, so Gavin Newsom, who under his orders, literally, and once this gets edited, we're gonna have the team put in clips. So you guys remember a few months ago, Gavin Newsom issued the order for the pandemic, right? And there was a lone man out in the middle of the ocean by himself paddleboarding. And the police went, brought him in, and locked him up. The photos are online, right? They arrested him. He was in the middle of the ocean paddleboarding by himself. And he was arrested, right? We all know the story of the man who was playing ball in a park with nobody in sight with his daughter, right? He was playing ball with his daughter, nobody in sight, and the police arrested him, right? So the stories are endless in California. And Governor Gavin Newsom attends a dinner with a dozen other people at this fancy restaurant that for some reason wasn't shut down. Apparently it's a very high-end restaurant called French Laundry. And he attends a birthday dinner there of a friend, a fellow, politician or lobbyist or someone, okay? And of course it was not until they got caught, right? Nothing was said until they got caught. But here's where the story gets good. After getting caught, the governor's people and people representing other people there said, listen, this was an outdoor event. This was an outdoor event. It was a small gathering of 12 people, and we were at the restaurant French Laundry, once again, which I heard is a phenomenal restaurant. I heard everyone I've talked to about it says it's the best. But they were outside, so they said they were outside. And then the photo got leaked. And then the photo got leaked of all of these people comfortably sitting inside French Laundry. They were not outside. They were inside at a table. Nobody wearing a mask at all. So then they went from, okay, well, we weren't outside. Okay, we weren't outside. So maybe we weren't outside. However, he said he made a poor decision. He said he made a poor decision. He said he attended the event for a friend, and he, rather than getting in his car and leaving, he decided to stay, and that was a poor decision. One of the other people that was there, one of the other politicians that was there, maintained the lie that they ate outside. They said it was outdoor. It was an outdoor event. And his spokespeople said it was outside. This was completely safe. No problem. And then the photo came out. And that guy was also inside, sitting at the table with everybody else. And since then, there has been no response from that person's people. If you live in California and you are watching this happen, how are you not fuming mad? How is your blood not boiling when you're seeing people around you suffering, businesses closed, people losing their businesses, their livelihood, unable to take care of their family. There's many reports of people with significant financial strain. And I ask this to the people who are in favor of the lockdowns and the masks and the social distance and all that stuff, right? How do you feel when you see these politicians who are putting these rules in place for you and I not following the rules? And how do you feel when someone like you and I, who is out paddleboarding in the middle of the ocean, getting arrested by the police, yet the person who puts those laws into place and gave those police officers the power to go lock up that man who was by himself in the middle of the ocean, that man can go have dinner with a dozen people inside a restaurant, lie about it and say it was outside, get caught and say it was inside, and nothing happens to him. So a normal person, using common sense, should say, well, he should be placed under arrest for violating the order, just like the man in the park playing ball with his daughter, just like the man paddleboarding in the middle of the ocean by himself that were arrested by the police. Why would Governor Newsom, for his violation of his own order, not be arrested by the police? And the reality is this: he will never be arrested. He will never be charged. None of the politicians that were in attendance at this dinner will never be arrested. They'll never be charged. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen to them. We all know this. Now, people on the right are fuming mad, and they're saying, look at these politicians, these guys on the left, and, saying, what they say, right? Because everything's so divided, right? So I'm talking to the people on the left. What about you? How do you feel that you're in support of these laws and these strict, so I talked to some people who said they agreed with the man getting arrested who was playing ball in a park with his daughter with nobody around within eyesight. They agreed with the man paddleboarding in the middle of the ocean getting arrested by the police because they said these people were not being socially conscious and they were putting others at risk with their actions. So to those people, I say, how do you feel about Governor Newsom attending this dinner with a dozen people? How do you feel about all these politicians in California? The people that you support, you supported these people getting arrested. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that there should be a penalty for Governor Newsom and all of the members of that party at that dinner? Should there be consequences for them? Or do they just get off? Do they just lie about it and say, oh, no, we were sitting outside. And then after getting caught in their lie, right? We all know about that. I have a great story of a guy I worked with as a police officer who got caught in his lie and got caught in another lie and then got caught in another lie. Great story. And he's still a police officer. But what about when politicians do it? When politicians lie to their own constituents, put laws in place. How did Governor Newsom, after the fact, say that the American Music Awards in Los Angeles, that huge event, was okay in his state? How is that okay? So I don't know how people on the left, if you would, are responding to that. If anyone watching this right now who is on the left and supports the lockdowns and the social distancing and the mask mandates and the people getting arrested for violating those rules, I would love for someone on the left to tell me and everyone else here how you feel about the governor's actions and whether he should be held accountable. Because if you support him and you support what he's put in place, then you should, in essence, also support him being held accountable for what he did. And if you say no, well, then either there's something off mentally, or you are in favor of the people issuing the rules not having to follow those rules. And that is a slippery slope. We've all seen in history how that has worked out for people. The rulers make a law, and the people must follow it. But the rulers themselves, they don't need to follow it. So I would love to hear the feedback. Would love to hear the feedback. You know, people back in Jersey and in New York, they're dealing with this too. Can't have family over, this, that. But then they see these politicians out and about. Chicago, we talked about this. Chicago. And the mayor of Chicago saying, oh, can't do this, can't have people over for Thanksgiving, and all this stuff. She's at a rally in the middle of the street with a megaphone, screaming, yelling, spit flying out of her mouth. People don't have masks on. So how does that work? How are people's blood not boiling right now in New York, in Chicago, in California? Like, how are you not literally screaming mad? How are you okay with it? This has nothing to do with, Trump or Biden or anything like that. This is more on a local level, right? This is more local level. You're going to live in a state, governor putting out rules that they're not even following? It's kind of crazy. So anyway, I haven't seen anyone from the left give me a good answer. Most people have just said, oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. It's not right. It's wrong. But they haven't said what should happen. All right? And I support them. A lot of these people I talk to, they voted for Joe Biden. They hated Donald Trump. They're very happy Joe Biden, won allegedly, right? And they are in support of all these things. And I support them. I'm not the kind of guy that's like, oh, no. You're going down a dangerous path. If these people can make laws and arrest your fellow citizens, your neighbors, maybe even your family, can arrest them, but then get away with the very thing themselves that your friends and your family may be arrested for, that you're supporting. So just beware, be careful. Be careful what you wish for. I'd like to know if anyone else has any other incidents of this happening, maybe in your state. Because I know we're not hearing about all of them, but what have you heard in your state? What act of hypocrisy? What act of, oh, well, these are the rules for you, not the rules for us. What actions have you seen? I'd love for you to comment below and let me know. Because we all should know. And we should all be angry that there's no consequences for these people getting away with this. And people say, oh, it's only, he was at the dinner, he made a mistake. He apologized. He apologized after he lied. He apologized after he lied to his constituents. The same constituents. Can you imagine how the man who was arrested while paddleboarding in the middle of the ocean by himself, arrested, or the man who was playing ball with his daughter by themselves in the middle of a park? Can you imagine how they felt when they saw that photo of Governor Newsom eating in a restaurant with no mask on around a dozen other people? Imagine how angry they would have been. How angry would you be? Chime in, let me know what you think. And by the way, we got some new products coming out, holiday season, so you definitely want to check them out. A lot of people have been asking about, well, your new products coming out, winter products. We got a couple of new products coming out, 221B. You can check that out, 221btactical.com. Videos coming on that soon. We got a lot of work going on in the studio. Our design team is working like crazy to get some of this stuff out, so stay tuned for that. And remember, wash your hands and don't touch your face. Very basic, very simple, people. And when you're out and about, watch their hands and watch your six. Get home safe. We'll see you next time.